Well, boys, we knew that this is gonna happen sooner or later. And here we finally are. Woke political game pundits have finally discovered statistics. And it's not looking well for them. They are struggling to interpret these numbers as hard as possible. Most of the time, it's just stupid lies. And sometimes they actually think that they're onto something. Honestly, I think this makes perfect sense because these communists obviously are not fans of math because communism is not a fan of math. In fact, communists are very well known to hate math because every time that they do math, they come down to, food's gonna run out in roughly a month. Every single time they do it. And by the way, just a small side rant. We have so many idiots LARPing as communists and saying, oh, pick capitalism, people starve, pick communism, and all your basic needs are gonna be met. What are you even talking about, honestly? Communism, in all the time that it has existed and been implemented, it has never literally gone past the people are not gonna starve in a month phase since implementation. Communism has never gotten to the point where, now everyone's basic needs are gonna get met. No, communism is still stuck in the how can we make people not starve phase. And you're talking about everyone's gonna get their basic needs met and garbage like that. Like, get a break. In any case, woke activists have found SteamDB. And it's absolutely glorious. It's as brain dead as you would imagine. Here we have an absolute banger of a post with 200k views, by the way, almost. And this wonderful person said the following: over 2 million total players, and players are starting at 180k Steam concurrents. Like, it tells the whole story. This is exactly why people need to stop glazing SteamDB as the holy metric for success. Now, who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her? No one needs to tell her, probably. We gotta stop acting, nice double space, like a single storefront that, represents roughly 70% of all game sales and activity from gamers. But that's 70%. That's not even 71%. Concurrent charts decide if a game is successful. Now, granted, you can obviously say this, and then you can say, yeah, sure, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle of Woke just randomly wasn't successful, and the SteamDB perfectly shows it. Outer Worlds 2, same thing. Dragon Age, same thing. Assassin's Creed Shadow, Ubisoft is literally going bankrupt, by the way. Yes. All of these are just random coincidences, I guess. But it gets worse, because it always gets worse. Like, when I read this, I was like, wait a minute. Is this person actually, like, being like, holy hell, are you telling me Where Winds Meet has 2 million players, but only 180 players peak? How is this possible? Yes. All the people, imagine this. This is probably shocking to some, but all the people who buy a game don't play the game at the same time. Yes, it's actually very rare. And this is supposed to be shocking. And then it just gets worse. It's the only indicator of sales in every day, and every day more and more players switch to PC. More often than not, Steam charts tend to be direct indicators of whether a game is successful or not. Very good, very absolute based. This is the correct take. My person who's at this grift god. Nice. And then there's the reply. That's the thing. It's not an indicator of sales. Yes, an indicator of sales, or something that directly correlates with sales and has historically displayed a direct correlation with sales, something that companies themselves admit is a direct indicator of sales, is not a direct indicator of sales. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, it almost feels like I'm reading some retarded gibberish that Asmongold wrote at this point. It's just an indicator of the amount of people who are playing at the same time. People playing the game are not indicators of sales. Well, on a technical level, if we want to be completely out of the box, I think Waking Winds is actually a free-to-play game, so I'm not sure. I think it's a free-to-play game. But at any rate, it's just an indicator, don't worry. I know everyone isn't like me, but my Steam library is growing and growing. I buy a lot of games that I haven't even touched, but my backlog is no one cares. Literally no one cares. Again. Wow. I mean, okay, listen. We're going to see a lot of this stupidity. We're going to see a lot of this stupidity, okay? Is someone implying that 180k concurrence is not as successful? By the way, this is the woke lie. They're constantly trying to push that people are saying like successful games aren't successful, even though no one claims they are. So this is like kind of the woke mindset. And it's instantaneously, is someone grifting and saying this is not successful? I have no idea what the budget was. I can't even comment on that. But 180k concurrent players does seem pretty successful, honestly. Because I could easily tell you that that's 2 million sales. And we don't even need to read this further. I think this person is just now engagement farming on Twitter as much as possible, because the answer to that is yes, a bunch of exclamation marks. People tell me that concurrent is bad for free to play, and I'm like, huh? Oh, well, yes, these people are mouth breathing like it's their job, because it probably honestly is their job. And then we get to some other things. This person has popped off in my feed recently. I have seen like 2 or 3 posts, by that I obviously mean, and all of them are just brain damaged. And this is wokeness at its absolute peak. It's trying to be factual, but in trying to be factual, it just literally displays its own lies, which is hilarious. So we're gonna read this, because again, this is why these people typically never try to go and interact with statistics, because the statistics are just gonna prove them wrong. And this is how hilarious it gets when someone actually just tries to interact with statistics. And this, by the way, whole thing, Too Long Didn't Read, is about Sweet Baby Inc. games being actually successful. That's right. All the games that literally have gotten a magical 5 players because Sweet Baby Inc. involvement in our WoW garbage, actually successes, as always. Dustborn, all of it. Beautiful successes. We're gonna go through this because it's hilarious, and as always, it's gonna contradict itself really fast. So here we go. Sweet Baby Inc. has a reputation for being attached to a lot of mediocre games. No, this is not the reputation. First of all, this whole first paragraph is actually a lie. And that gives the anti-woke crowd plenty of ammunition, but the truth is not nearly that simple. First of all, this is not, no one has claimed this. No one has claimed that Sweet Baby Inc. has a reputation of being attached to a lot of mediocre games. Sweet Baby Inc. is attached to complete garbage that bombs and flops day one. That is the actual claim. These people who are anti-woke, the best part about them is all of their assumptions are completely just made up. No one is claiming that Sweet Baby Inc. is attached to mediocre games. And by the way, how does he judge a mediocre game? By Metacritic critic scores. That's right. That's right. The games journalists decide what is right and what is wrong, which he is going to disprove very fast, by the way. Yes, Sweet Baby Inc. has contributed to some great titles. Name a single great title. The closest as I know, Sweet Baby Inc. has actually gotten to a title that has made a single fucking cent in profit is Spider-Man 2, and that has not made a single cent in profit, I'm pretty sure still. It's close, it's close. Oh, but it hasn't. Okay? like Spider-Man 2 was the, previously the ghost of Yote. Oh, look at that, wokeness didn't actually harm this title, it's almost successful. Idiots. But those are outnumbered by the ones that landed somewhere between average and forgettable. So yes, again, this is not even a true claim. No one is associating Sweet Baby Inks and Metacritic scores from journalists. Like this is completely made up. I have never heard anyone who has associated Sweet Baby Mink and Metacritic failures, or an IGN 4 out of 10s even. So that's it, the story, right? Their DEI-driven involvement is the reason the games fail to hit those scores above 80% review scores. Again, completely shifting the goal. And this is not even shifting the goal. This is making the goal about something that no one has ever cared about. Like, how many years now we're just making fun of Metacritic scores and, critic scores in general? It's been a long... No one cares about them. No one cares about them. Look at this. Dragon Age Railguard has a... I don't know what's the actual Metacritic score, but it was good. It was like an IGN 8 or something. It was ridiculous. Take a step back and actually look at the games Sweet Baby has worked on. Think about how many of their problems had nothing to do with the narrative, consultants, or inclusive character design. I mean, a game can fail not because of this, but this is definitely not helping your game sales. That is for sure. Gotham Knights, complete Voxlop, by the way. Weak combat, awkward progression, poor performance, and predictable story. It's just Vogue garbage, I mean, you can Google these, but all of them look horrible in Vogue. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, a grindy, repetitive looter shooter packed with live service baggage no one asked for. Gameplay was also just fine at best. So this person is effectively talking about these things and kind of proving that the critics' scores don't matter, even though if you look at the critics' scores, it seems like Sweet Baby Inc. games are actually amazing. Because look at this. Look at this. Unrivaledly amazing, 13%. Amazing, 33%. Average or better, 50%. No bad games whatsoever. So you should believe the critics who say that all of these games are amazing, but at the same time, somehow the games that Sweet Baby Inc. have worked on are bad? How does that make sense? Oh wait, it doesn't. It doesn't. Again, these people constantly disprove themselves every time they try to do this. Sable have no idea what this. Gorgeous art direction and tone, but plagued with bugs, visual glitches, and performance issues at launch. Yep, I'm sure that was it. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance buggy mess from top to bottom. Flintlock combat was clunky. Flintlock was beyond woke, okay? Flintlock was it was the ultimate black woman experience, okay? Combat clunky, no one cares. South of Midnight, combat was blank and repetitive. You know what was blank and repetitive? The fact that South of Midnight established in the first 5 minutes of the game that the main character has no father figure, which was hilarious in my opinion. Well played, Sweet Baby Inc. Thought it still earned decent reviews thanks to its visual design and music. I'm pretty sure the music was ass. I'm pretty sure the visual design was also somehow fucking ass. These games had real issues. Weak mechanics, busted performance, sloppy design, but grifters still point to a few lines of folk dialogue. I mean, we can point to an amazingly high amount of wokeness in these games. Not just a little bit, okay? When there's a little bit of wokeness, it gets the KCM2 treatment. But when there's a lot of wokeness, you know what happens. Dialogue or a character they do not find attractive. I love how everything's just, oh, this is not an attractive character. Yeah, it's not, because you literally made a female into a male. No shit. And claims that it is why the entire thing tanked. I mean, I got Indiana Jones, The Circle of Diarrhea, here for a very specific reason. Indiana Jones was marketed as a full evoke, okay? You literally had a fat dude with rainbow colors and pins and whatnot telling everyone that this is a game for modern audiences. Joke's on you. Turns out Indiana Jones was not a game for modern audiences at all. It actually was kind of refreshing how much normal interaction dialogue this game had. Now, granted, the game itself was literally Dark Souls without powers and 5 times worse because Ubi slop. No, I mean Bethesda slop. But you get the point. It's hilariously dumb. This game literally failed out the window because people were looking at it as a Vogue disaster because it marketed itself as a Vogue disaster. Okay, even if you want to claim that this game did not lose because people call it woke, then where was the woke audience that it tried to market it to? Oh, right, it doesn't exist. But grifters, blah, 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 entire thing tanked. It is lazy, dishonest, ignores the actual reasons for games, for these games did not land. I'm sorry. How? I mean, no, who believes this? Who is currently looking at these examples and being like, ah, yes, Flintlock and all of these garbage things that they just were not good games in general. It has nothing to do with the wokeness and the fact that the wokeness made people not buy it in general. It's crazy. If you want to criticize Sweet Babying, go ahead. But don't. This is the sentence, by the way. This is my favorite sentence, probably. If you want to criticize Sweet Babying, go ahead. But actually, don't do it. If you want to criticize SBI, go for it. But do it with some nuance. Again, so literally just don't. Blaming them for every bad review or technical failure is just noise. Is it? I'm pretty sure it was very successful. It is not helping the conversation. Removing things that are that literally do nothing to games but make them worse is not noise. It is actually a very important part of the conversation that we like to take a part in. And it is not helping developers make better games. Oh, but here you are wrong, it is. Every single developer that has completely forsake wokeness and Aloy's style of character design has gotten better. In any case, that's pretty much it. Anyway, this is Quizzer Sid saying thanks for watching. Bye bye!